Welcome back. I've got Valerie Lighthart in the house. Hey, Valerie.
Hi.
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm at a friend's house in Boston.
That's so incredible. I'm glad that you can join us even from that far away. And you've been really busy during this time. I know I've been keeping in connection with you. And not too long ago, I want to mention this because I thought this was an amazing release. You released Love and Money with Solana as a part of a series, a trio of EPs, rather, in different genres called the Moonlight series, intended to analyze different facets of femme, from empowerment to sexuality, to transformation to oppression and rage. And I want to ask, what inspired this project?
Oh man, it's
Big
kind
question.
of yeah, that's a big question, but I'm really excited to have a platform to talk about it. I think that I took most of the inspiration just from watching the women around me growing up, kind of watching them triumph, watching them prevail, watching them endure these horror shows, that I was like shocked by, but also interested in, you know what I mean? And watching the way that, not only the way that women overcame, but also the way that specifically young women internalized like the deep facets of pop culture and internalized these ideas about what they were allowed to be and what they were allowed to grow into. So I kind of wanted to create these archetypal characters that each have their own soundscape, that each have their own aesthetic content, to break down this femme identity, this inherently relatable and universal experience into these different stories.
That's amazing. And I feel like concepts are a huge part of what you do. So I'm breaking it down because you have a lot of releases during this time. You also dropped a collaboration track called Walking Slowly with the producer, and you can correct me if I say it incorrectly, Steve the Sauce Hybicki. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
From Milwaukee. He's a Milwaukee native, and he worked with the likes of Miley, Cyrus, and my friends and former tour mates Ray Sremmurd, Katy Perry, and so many more other artists. How did this collaboration come about?
Instagram is wonderful. He was just
Social
looking
media.
for a Milwaukee artist to work with and just found me.
Wow. And did he say, like, was there a specific release or anything that kind of triggered him?
He was just looking to cook, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm super stoked. Like, count me in.
That makes me so happy to hear that people are looking for each other within the Milwaukee community, kind of lifting each other up. And Walking Slowly is a great track, which I'm sure we'll hear here on 88.9 soon in the future. Now, aside from this, because this is unusual times, and well, can I ask, did Walking Slowly, did you make that during the pandemic or was that prior
No.
to?
Yeah, we made it prior to the pandemic. Pretty much everything that I'm releasing was made prior to the pandemic. I just have to like put the finishing touches on the vocals for most of the stuff.
Right. Well, and that goes into what I'm going to ask you now, which is I know that the city of Milwaukee is important to you, and this is an important and unusual time in our history. And I take you to be very conceptual in the work that you do. And I was wondering if you feel like what's happening now is influencing the future music and the future creations that you are creating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I feel like just not to sound dramatic, I don't want to run the risk of like sounding too over the top, but I feel like what we are all experiencing right now is this collective trauma. You know what I mean? Like we are holding hands in this immense universal wound, trying to piece ourselves back together. And I feel like as an artist, it's so difficult not to internalize that and not to like use not only your art, but your platform to try to digest and work through the really complicated feelings that brings about.
Yeah, absolutely. And fielding it through creativity. And I feel like you've been inspiring in that way. You're keeping busy, you're making music, you're creating, you're performing digital concerts, and just generally you keep going. So what motivates you to keep moving forward?
I just love it. I just love it. So I'm very obsessive. I have a very obsessive personality where I'll have like a vision, like a song or like, I don't know, just some kind of like visual thing. And then I'll just really fixate on it. And I'll be like, everything that I have to do has to be building toward this. Otherwise, I feel really like listless. You know, I get restless really easily. So I kind of have to like fixate on a storyline that I can like move forward through time.
I understand that. I'm a doer. I always have to be doing, otherwise I'll go wild. So
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that as well. And on that note, then, do you have anything new coming out that we can know about?
Yes, I'm very excited. I have a new EP coming out. The date is kind of to be determined. There's still some work being done on it, but it's the corresponding EP to Love and Money, the single. So it's kind of, oh, there's a cat. It's called the Goddess EP, and it's the archetype of the goddess, of, you know, the woman that society wants to create and then consume. And it kind of breaks down that idea.
That's really cool. I'm excited and I'm looking forward to that. Is there anything else you want our Radio Milwaukee listeners to know?
Um, I think that's it. Yeah, just follow me on Spotify, keep an eye out, vote. Vote.
Yes. Yes, voting is so important. I mean, and also aside from supporting you in that way, are there other ways our Radio Milwaukee listeners can support you, Valerie?
You see, if you go on Spotify and you silence your phone, you can just loop somebody's song and really hike up the streams.
That's the way to do it. I believe it was Volpac who did that. They made a silent album and had that go. But you know what? That's the way.
They're living in 2030. They're light years ahead of us. But yeah, no, just stream the music, engage with it, you know?